What is going on? AJ here. Before we get the show started, I want to let you know this episode is brought to you by MUZMM.com. They make these pretty killer duffel bag / backpack hybrids. Pretty darn sick, I gotta say. Anyway, if you want to save 20% on your next order, you can go to MUZMM.com/discount/STGeekPod. You can also use our discount code STGeekPod at checkout. Again, that's for 20% off, but we'll talk about that a little later on in the episode. Let's get things started. Welcome back to another episode of the STGeek Podcast with myself, AJ, and alongside me, as always, are my co-hosts,
Peter,
John.
And today we are going to be talking about our favorite fan theories to date. But before we do, of course, we do have some news that we need to go over for the week. Peter, do you want to kick us off, good sir?
Sure. So, adding to the Marvel Netflix saga, it seems like we talk about this every week. There's something new coming up.
Yeah, but I'm excited about
it. So apparently, Marvel had no say in the Netflix shows being canceled. It was 100% the decision of Netflix.
That's pretty wild.
Is this rumor or is this?
This is
true?
confirmed.
Do you know who actually confirmed this?
I don't recall. Okay. Remember I said I did a bit of research earlier? Maybe I didn't.
There's the bit.
Yeah, that was the bit of that's where it ends, right there.
I mean, I wonder if that has to do with like Disney Plus and them kind of retaliating, saying we're not going to support your characters anymore. Kind of like how Disney did with X-Men,
right.
How they cut them off the comics, I believe.
Oh yeah,
and Fantastic Four.
That is a good point. I mean, I wonder what's the gain from that, though, exactly, as far as on Netflix's side. What are they going to get out of this? What's that?
It's just making a
we
statement.
Don't need
it's all like business
we can
politics.
axe your shows and not even care.
Right, really? I wonder how good they're going to be doing with subscriptions. I mean, I imagine people that are signed on right now aren't going to readily just unsubscribe now from Netflix. I don't feel like they're going to lose too much of an audience, but will they be able to draw in more new audience members? That's what I'm wondering, like more subscribers, that is.
Well,
right.
To kind of go off of that, it's crazy because Daredevil fans, they brought up a hashtag Save Daredevil movement at the Times Squares. It's this banner. I'll show you guys the image right now. It's crazy that these fans are going to that extent. They actually put up posters.
What the
Save Daredevil. There it is.
Jesus.
In Times Square.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That shows how much people love this. So
yeah.
It sucks that the fans have to deal with this more than anybody else.
Yeah, that does suck.
Well, I mean, as we talked about last week, though, I mean, with the MCU, at least TV series, moving over to Hulu, perhaps maybe Hulu will pick it up due to the craze and kind of the rampant fever of the fans.
But can they?
I don't know.
Because it's Netflix.
If Netflix is dropping it, though, will they have ownership of it still? I mean, I imagine they're avoiding contracts because of this.
I mean, possibly. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're not the lawyers.
Have been signed, what agreements have been made. So possibly, but I think this, at the very least, confirms that Marvel wasn't in breach of any contract.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see them sooner rather than later.
Right. I wonder if maybe, I mean, even though it wasn't Marvel's decision, perhaps they gave Netflix like an ultimatum of some sort that we don't know behind the scenes. Again, that's kind of just speculating at this point, but even still, I wonder what Netflix's point of it was, even like besides just making a statement that, yeah, we don't need you guys. I wonder why they would even dare, because I mean, Marvel movies continue to break records. Oh my God. Thank you for that. But yeah, I just wonder, like, why would they be willing to lose that kind of money and potential new subscribers? Because again, movies in the MCU are doing really well continuously. I mean, I don't know how good Captain Marvel's going to be, but I mean, there's a lot of advertising for that movie. So
did you hear about the smear campaign?
No, please.
Yeah.
People are like review bombing Captain Marvel, like saying that it's shit and all this crap.
Like to make a statement
to
as
make
well?
it look bad.
Just to make it look bad.
Hoping
That's so
that people
weird.
won't see it. Well, they actually did the same thing with Black Panther.
Yep.
And it didn't do shit.
Right, and look at Black Panther nominated for the
Yeah,
Oscars and all that. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I will say, though, I mean, I feel like I was definitely more hyped for Black Panther than Captain Marvel. Just to be, that's just, our personal opinions on it, apparently. But, I mean, that doesn't mean I'm not extremely hyped for what Endgame has to offer in the very near future as well, right after that movie. That's pretty exciting, though. John, what else did you want to bounce off from that?
Excuse me.
He's dying.
I brought up the Daredevil thing. That was one of my news that I wanted to bring up. Just how crazy that definitely was.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's petitions. They want this show.
I look forward to it coming back. I only hear good things about the show. I've yet to watch a single episode, but it's one of those shows in the back of my head where I'm like, I need to sit down and dedicate time to this because I hear it's only deserving, you know?
Yes.
But I don't know.
Yeah. So then the other things is there are rumors that they're looking for a not older Batman, like in his late 20s. So right away, I just kind of get Christian Bale in my head. I mean, they don't want a fully experienced Batman, but he's already kind of been out on the job, fucking beating some people's asses.
Right, like he's still up and coming, kind of learning how to become Batman or how to be Batman still. He's not like the expert that we know him
I don't think
as.
we're going to get an origin story. I think he's going to be Batman.
But it's still early on
But
in his
it's still
career.
early, yeah.
Gotcha.
He's still getting his ass kicked.
That sounds something that I want. You know, I don't necessarily need a Batman that kicks 100% ass all the time. I want him to be challenged, of course, as well, which, I mean, what we've gotten in the Nolanverse and since then as well, even though maybe the quality since the Nolanverse has kind of plummeted to a degree, at least in my personal opinion, but even still, I look forward to seeing what they can come up with. I hope that they would get someone really good. Who do you guys want as Batman? I think we've talked about this before.
Well, did you
Ben
hear,
Affleck.
Did you guys hear
Okay.
the rumor? Okay, so are you guys familiar with Armie Hammer?
The Armie
actor?
Hammer, like the old man actor?
Is
Is he not that old?
He's not that old.
Oh, really? Maybe I'm thinking
Where
of
have I
someone
seen him
different.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of something else.
I probably am.
He's in nothing that I've seen. He was in... Crap, I just looked this up beforehand. He was in movies. I don't remember which
He's
ones,
been in
honestly.
movies.
There's the bit of research
He was
coming up.
in Man of Uncle, and he was also in something else.
Oh, yeah, he's super young. Pardon me. Okay,
He's
I know
about-
exactly what
he's
you're
about
talking
in that
about.
age range.
He looks like he could be Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah. Marshall John? See what he looks like?
Yeah, sure. Armie Hammer.
Oh, the
Yeah.
plug is connected.
Yeah, he looks like he
I
could
can
be
see that.
Batman. I
Yeah.
can see him being Bruce Wayne.
Okay, so here's how it went. So
Sure.
A site known as Revenge of the Fans reported that he was in final talks to become Batman. What do you mean?
That was a displeased.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very-
no. He was from the Social Network. That's why I was like, he looks familiar. He's the
Okay,
twin.
that was the
Oh,
other
he was
movie.
the twin characters. That's right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And he's the Lone Ranger.
Oh,
That's
shit.
right. That was the other movie.
That's why I was
Lone
like,
Ranger.
I actually like Lone Ranger. To be
I
I've
honest.
never
heard
saw
it's
it.
good, and it wasn't worth. I mean, but it did bomb though, didn't it?
Oh, I can see why it bombed. I mean,
Is it because of Johnny Depp?
I mean, it's always because of
I
Johnny Depp.
didn't. That's what really.
Let's
turned
just
me off to that
establish
whole
this right
movie.
now. I think he's a terrible actor.
Damn.
So bring it.
Terrible.
Bring it.
I mean, he was good at Jack Sparrow in the first movie.
I didn't
The,
mind him.
the first one. I feel like after that it is just trash.
I'll agree with. I think the first Pirates movie is the best, 100%. We're going off on a major tangent here, but I'm
Right.
okay with it.
I just needed to throw out there.
No, I have.
And
yeah.
Peter can attest to this. I've been saying that since high
You've
school.
been saying this for years. You've never liked Johnny
Never.
Depp. I liked Johnny Depp up until probably about the same time. Like right up until the second Pirates movie, I'm like, I don't know
What the
about
fuck
him
is this guy
anymore.
doing?
What is he doing? Yeah.
I lost touch with him when he started eating whole corns on the cob, raw corn on the cob in Secret Window. That's about the time he fell off my
That
radar.
movie's kind of weird. It's all right.
It's
we
not
gonna-
that great. I imagine the book's way
We
better.
should just do like a Johnny Depp filmography like review.
That sounds
I
like
would
a
love
fun
to,
idea.
to just bring the heat.
So- someone write that down.
Bring the heat.
I mean, like, I don't want this podcast to be about tearing down people's
shamming
work.
somebody, but
Like,
Johnny
I
Depp,
mean-
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
All right.
We could. What if we do like?
Like, I don't want this to become a negative podcast,
But why
you
don't
know?
we go through like an actor's
Good and bad.
filmography and do
Yeah.
like a is it good, is it bad?
Sure,
kind of a
because I
thing?
think Edward Scissorhands for. I mean, it's not my favorite
haven't seen
movie
it
by
in
far and
years.
away, but it still has a charm to it. You know what I mean? And this is still early Johnny Depp work.
I
you know?
like Sweeney Todd,
Sweeney Todd
like
is
Sweeney
very
Todd.
good as well. I like that movie way more than I thought I would.
but maybe because
more.
it's more singing than acting.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to perform. It's still a display of talent, I would say, for sure. I mean, not everyone can sing like that. I don't know. That's just
I'll
my
agree.
thought. Yeah. Again, does that mean he's the best actor in the world? No,
Absolutely
thank you.
not.
I mean, again, art is subjective anyway,
So-
but at the same time, he's definitely not our cup
So
of
let
tea.
me ask you this: Johnny Depp or Jared Leto? Which one do you hate more?
I was actually thinking this. I was gonna say fuck you to the both of them. So but I guess if I had to choose, oh, that's a tough one.
we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Stew on that for a second.
I'm going to say maybe you haven't seen as many Jared Leto movies as you have
I
Johnny Depp,
haven't.
though. Yeah, but
That's
he
why it
does
makes
have
it-
some good ones.
But he
in his
ruined
holster.
Joker so much that
He did.
He did years of damage with that one role. I will say that without a doubt.
Yeah, DC is still in rehab after that performance. But again, I wonder how much was pushed on him and how much he kind of just had to work with what he was given. Because again,
Work with
there
what
are
he was
plenty of
given?
roles that he's good.
did you
he's
hear
great
the
in.
shit he did? AJ?
I did hear that, but I mean,
The man is.
I feel like
sorry.
I feel like that was more of a publicity stunt than anything.
He's on another level. He's just on a bad other level. Don't get me started. Let's keep going.
All right, go ahead, Armie Hammer.
We're gonna bleep.
Bring the heat, guys.
we need
Okay.
to bleep that word.
Yeah, just
I hope
bleep
I
it.
remember to this time. Yes, we'll see. Okay,
Okay,
go on.
Bleep it with this. He's a dumbass.
Okay.
There you go.
Just copy and paste.
Okay.
Insert here.
This whole conversation is coming full circle because
Cool.
to come in line with the Army Hammer thing.
yes.
Okay, so a lot of stuff to cover that we've kind of already pertained to here. So Army Hammer. So it was reported by RevengeOfTheFans.com that he was in final talks to become the Batman. He got asked about it in an interview, and he declined it entirely, just outright. He said nobody from who can actually make it happen has spoken out to him about it.
Okay.
So outright denied it. But I'm not too familiar with his work, but he definitely has the look, like you guys were saying. I
Yeah.
can see him as a younger Batman.
For sure. Like a just starting out Bruce Wayne as
Honestly,
far as becoming him, yeah.
I think I see him more as a Superman.
Yeah, but you've seen what the role of Superman has
see
done
that,
to
too.
actors of late.
No.
I mean, I don't
There's
remember.
the Superman curse. You're familiar with that?
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, but the thing is, I feel like the actors that played Superman of late, especially Henry Cavill, however you want to pronounce his name, I feel like he doesn't deserve it. Like, I feel like he's a genuinely cool guy.
He's a
and I think
great
he's a good
Superman.
Superman, yeah. But
He
he's
is.
just
Oh,
not
yeah.
given good things to do.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
He's cool. He was great. You guys got to see Mission Impossible if you haven't yet. He's great in Fallout.
I've heard it's probably
Again,
the best in the series.
don't
wanna
It's on a
overhype,
lot
but
of
it's great.
people's.
The trailer always gets me hype when you see him
Oh.
like jerk his hands.
When
I'm
he
like,
cocks
oh,
his-
fuck.
when he cocks his arms off that?
It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm not trying to fight with this guy.
Have you guys seen the gif of that?
No.
There's like
No.
a scene where he gets like he cocks his arms and then he shifts his face towards the camera and his facial hair becomes thicker as it happens.
Oh, and I have seen that. Yeah.
You don't know, it's believed it's probably just shadowing that happens within the scene. The way the lighting is, it's just shadows, but it looks like you can see his facial hair get thicker.
He
It's
just
awesome.
like mans up. He just gets more manly as the scene progresses.
It's so awesome. But yeah, he's actually a really
By
badass
the end of
character
the
in that
scene, he
movie.
has a big Santa Claus beard.
Let's fucking go. Lumberjack man for sure. But no, yeah, I mean, I'm ready. If Army Hammer is going to be a part of it, again, it doesn't sound like that is going to be the case, unless maybe they asked him to wait to make an official statement once DC and Warner Brothers wants to come to terms with that. Until then, well, I mean, if they're going to do Bruce Wayne, I hope they get someone right, and he at least has the look down. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys want to move on to from
Well,
there?
to build off of that.
Oh, sure.
Suicide Squad 2 has been confirmed to be something of a soft reboot of the franchise.
Say it to me, Peter. Say these words
And-
to me. Yes, please. Let me hear
And
it. Say it
is-
slow.
It
Say it
is
slow.
unlikely
sing it, if you
Okay.
will.
for Jared Leto
Oh.
to return.
Oh,
And the crowds lose their mind. Yeah.
Can we pause the pod? I think I need to take a smoke break.
Damn. Light a cigarette and,
peasants
lay back.
rejoice.
Oh god. No, I think this is probably the way to go. But you know what? As I've learned recently, there are a lot of characters that are actually a part of the Suicide Squad. So
yeah.
if it's a soft reboot, maybe we'll just get maybe a couple returning characters, but mainly just a brand new cast, which could be fun. You know, it could still be considered a reboot because we're not getting all the same band back together. And and
Also, I
maybe
think
the
it's
tone
gonna
won't have to be the same either.
Exactly. I think with James Gunn as the director, he's going to bring a whole new style and flavor to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think his style has a place for whatever the hell Jared Leto was doing as the
Whatever he
Joker.
was, whatever
Yeah.
that thing
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, whatever that was.
I feel you.
Damaged, guys. Damaged. It explains it all right there.
Right, he's just a damaged man. But yeah, no, I'm excited kind of for this. I don't know if
He's lying.
I don't know if excited is the word. I'm interested to see what the advertising will look like when they're ready to show it. Like what footage will look like. Because I mean, I wonder what actors they're going to get for this as well. Like, is Margot Robbie going to return as Harley
She
Quinn?
is.
I would hope
I
so
bet
because that
she
was like
is.
the best
She's
part
a
of the movie to me.
moneymaker.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no confirmation. People, it's up in the air right now whether she'll
And I
come back.
actually feel like her character would fit in a James Gunn universe.
Oh no, for sure. Kind
So,
of like
I
that
think
good
so.
match of, I guess, comedy, great comedy from the character, good charisma, and also crazy action. That sounds like James Gunn in a nutshell.
And I'm
you know?
very excited for this because it's James Gunn.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Who's to see what? Or I can't wait to see what he's going to bring to the DC universe with this.
Are we finally going to get good DC movies?
I mean, we got good ones. They exist. They're out there.
Aquaman, yeah.
Aquaman.
Aquaman
Wonder
was
Woman.
cool.
Wonder
Shazam
Woman.
looks great
Except
every
for the
time I
last
see it.
But you
trailer.
haven't seen it yet, so you can't include it on the list.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wait,
But
you haven't
I'm
seen what?
Shazam. It's not out yet.
He
so-
included Shazam on the list, but
Oh,
you
yeah,
haven't even
I'm
seen
just
it yet.
excited for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Well, moving on with a universe that is ever expanding. Apparently, Peter, you're going to talk about Bill and Ted.
Oh, yeah.
that
That was me also. Yeah, so Bill and Ted has been in production hell for
Forever.
frickin' ever, man. For years upon years upon years. But it's finally going to begin filming this summer. It's in pre-production, so it's actually happening. It's titled Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Sounds cool, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
Have any of you guys seen the first two movies?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, really? I've never seen
Do
one.
you remember? Wow, this is old. But do you remember Pizza Hut back in the day had a promotion where you bought a pizza and it came with like 4 or 5 different movies, but you got to choose from one.
Yep.
And Bill and Ted was one of those movies.
Wow. Is that how you got to see your? Is that how you got to see it?
I don't
should
know. I
say?
just wanted pizza.
I do remember that deal, though. I remember they had like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle deal as well back in the day, too.
I think that was Domino's.
Oh, Domino's. Pardon
yeah.
me. Thank you. But yeah.
Why do I know that?
We
random-
were kids in the 90s, yeah. That makes sense, I guess. But not, I mean, this is cool, I guess. Again, this is a series that never really meant anything to me, but to a lot of people.
This is going back to, is it too late? I mean, they killed Anchorman, they killed Zoolander, now they're going to kill another good movie franchise?
See, it remains to be seen. There have been a few examples of them making sequels to older movies. Like the Creed franchise is a pretty good example. Like
That's
making
true.
a sequel to older movies.
But that's more like a soft reboot too, because the main focus was more so on Michael B. Jordan than it was on Rocky himself.
You're not wrong. I mean, there is an arc for Rocky in those movies for sure.
Yeah, but he's not the main focus. Bill and Ted is the main. I'm assuming they would be.
There must be more examples that are escaping me at the moment. But you are right. A lot of those sequels that come 10, 15, 20 years later.
Usually like they
Blade Runner. I haven't seen it, but I've heard everybody loves the Blade Runner sequel.
Dude, we need
so
to review
hopefully
that movie.
they follow
it's
that
it's
because
cool.
you're right. Yeah, but then that's again, it's Harrison Ford with another great actor. So
And
I
Harrison
wonder,
Ford is not the main focus in the new movie either.
yeah, exactly. Or you have like Anchorman, where it's the exact same characters doing stupid shit.
Pretty much the same exact scenes, but rehashed and not done as well, I would
Yeah.
say.
So
To a
I'm-
degree.
and I love Bill and Ted, so I'm hoping, but.
We'll see. You know what? I recently watched. I brought it up like several episodes back in this show. I did watch Destination Wedding, starring Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, and that showed that he's definitely still has like a comedic side to him for sure. He has a great funny bone, but it was definitely a different type of humor. It was more like dry and very sarcastic. And from what I've heard of Bill and Ted, and little clips I've seen on the internet, they're just kind of like, whoa, and it's kind of slapstick, funny, 90s,
It's
late
very
80s.
90s.
You know what I mean?
Like late 80s, early 90s
Yeah,
kind
like
of comedy.
I imagine there's probably like some wacky sound effects, like or whatever, you know.
They do some air guitars, and
There you go.
maybe there's some riffs that happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
It's also going to be very weird to see Keanu Reeves go back to that after the John Wick movies.
That's true.
It's going to be really weird seeing him go back to that type
Or
of...
you can watch the palette cleanser of replicas and then go.
At least it can't get as bad as replicas, apparently.
Yeah,
at the end of
bring
the
up
day,
that- You guys haven't seen it. You don't fucking know. You don't get to bring up this movie. You don't get to bring that up. You haven't earned it.
we lived it through you, Peter,
Yes,
through your
we felt
eyes,
it.
and you're telling the
and
story,
rage.
and your rage, especially.
Hours of my life. 2 hours of my life I will never get back.
Never get back. You know, they say you never waste a day in your life if you spend it doing what you love. But I
Not
gotta
the case
say,
here.
yeah, you definitely have some wasted hours under your belt now, and I'm glad to have contributed to that in some small way.
Yeah.
I'm getting my eyes getting cloudy. I'm getting so angry.
Oh God.
I'm going blind.
I'm
in
not
one
sure
eye.
if you guys have seen Finding Nemo when the shark Bruce's pupils dilate because he smells blood in the water. That's pretty much what's happening with Peter right now when Replicas is brought up. I would say.
God,
Guys,
I
seen
hate
Red.
that movie.
One day we might have to review it as like a true review. You did your mini review, and I appreciated
You
it.
guys need to see how bad this movie is.
Maybe we can see it in anticipation of Bill and Ted.
Maybe
The palette cleanser.
The palate cleanser. I like that. Hashtag the palate cleanser.
I almost feel bad, like, for making you guys watch this movie. Like it.
I'm down.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm down. Anyway, moving on, we do have some Obi-Wan Kenobi news, which I remember back in the day when Obi-Wan Kenobi, like a side project was announced, it was going to be a movie, but then Disney canceled it because of the horrible backlash that Solo got, which I feel is ultimately undeserved in my humble opinion.
I think it was mostly the backlash for The Last Jedi, and then Solo underperformed.
Yeah.
On the back of that.
Yeah.
So it's a domino effect of what led to it being canceled.
But I'll go on the limb and say that both films do not deserve as much flack as they got. I mean, I heard a lot of people didn't like Solo because, they changed too much and he doesn't even look like Harrison Ford. Well, obviously, he's a different human being altogether,
Yeah.
They can't make him look exactly like another person. I mean, for one, the tech isn't there yet, but that's beside the point. I just feel like people are just too quick to be so negative about things lately over the past several years, especially with the internet being a thing. But either way, yours, Peter, you wrote in the notes that they're going to make a series potentially.
So yeah, this is still in the rumor mill, but supposedly the Obi-Wan movie is now being turned into a mini series, like about 6 episodes.
I think that's better. It just gives it more time to actually tell the story.
That's
Right.
true. They can make like 6
Opposed to be 2
amazing
hours,
episodes. Yeah. Is it? I wonder if it'll still star Ewan McGregor. I would hope they'd have to do that.
I believe he's gone on record to say that he would love to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That would
I would
be
love for him to
he's
also.
the highlight of the prequels,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Easily the best part
and
of
the
those movies.
pottery scene.
Of
and the
course.
clones.
Whatever.
No, I love that Darth Maul. I actually
Darth
think he's one of the
pretty
better
awesome.
parts of that.
That's
series.
true.
Very
That's true.
underutilized, I think, because you only get like one really
Well, he
badass.
comes back in other things.
Yeah, there's
but
expanded lore, which is pretty
it's-
cool.
yeah, I guess.
But not much
But
of
in the movies,
Yeah.
especially in that movie. I mean, he has that really, in my opinion, might be my favorite lightsaber battle in the entire franchise.
Because they got
wow.
video game elements in there.
Like
How do you
what?
figure?
The laser doors closing. And they got
That's true.
Kind of puzzle elements to it. That's a
That
good
part-
point.
That's
pretty
what I
dumb.
mean, Peter.
That part, don't get me started. I think we've gone on enough rants on this podcast, but I can get started on how dumb. What are those doors for?
That is true.
Why
What
are-
are
why
they
do they
for?
exist?
That's a very good point.
What are they doing? They keeping the flies out? Like, what's going on?
And even if the flies can get in, if they time it
Yeah,
out.
Space
like,
flies,
why
guys.
are those there? What is the purpose of those?
Gotta beware the space flies.
Prequels are so weird. Why do they have these giant corridors, these ramps that lead to nowhere, apparently? It's like an M.C. Escher painting. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Didn't they have super speed? Like in the first 10 seconds of that new franchise?
They-
Where'd
yeah.
it go?
They
Yeah.
could jump like 20, 30 feet high
Where
as
did
well and
this
shit.
go?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They left it behind like they should have. Thank God. But I would say that even though the laser doors are completely ridiculous, and I've thought the same over the years, like, what are they for? What's the point of them? At least I did like the fact that they were used to build tension. Obi-Wan Kenobi,
That's
spoilers
their
for an
only
old movie.
purpose. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
Exactly.
That's bad writing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They were just like, how do we make it so that Qui-Gon dies and then spoiler, I guess.
Yeah, for a 20-year-old
But
movie.
Obi-Wan can't do anything about it. Let's just make some bullshit doors, laser doors that open and close for no reason.
Right. I did like how that he used the Force and like meditated to calm himself. That way he reacted
That was
as soon as the
interesting.
doors opened. But again, it was a very lazy writing, like you said.
Yeah.
I completely agree, Peter. Yeah, that was kind of really dumb. Even though it made for a cool
See how many
scene.
rants you guys can get out of me. You're going for a record on this one.
That's what this show's all about. It's all good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I hope it becomes a thing, and I hope they do it well because Ewan McGregor and the Star Wars universe deserves better than what they've been given so far. At least as far as critical acclaim, it doesn't have the best track record lately.
I'm kind of Star Wars'd out, to be totally honest. I mean, there's a few projects that I'm excited for. The Mandalorian, that Jon Favreau's working on. I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out. I think there's a video game called The Fallen Kingdom or something like that
That
EA
sounds
is working
familiar.
on.
Yes.
Or not working. I don't know. That's kind of a whole thing in a nutshell in and of itself.
Is that going to be under EA? I wonder because EA still owns the rights to Star Wars video
don't
games
recall.
solely.
Maybe I'll do some digging and I'll report on it next week. I'll talk about it for a bit.
That would be cool. We do occasionally talk about video games in this podcast.
Like this next story.
Yes, go on, sir.
So-
I'm intrigued.
The partnership between Xbox and Nintendo,
Well, crossplay and such, yeah.
crossplay has been a thing, and so it might be expanding even more. So there's a rumor that there's going to be an Xbox app released for the Nintendo Switch, which would allow Nintendo Switch users to play games on Xbox's Game Pass.
That's crazy.
Are you guys familiar with
Is this-
Game Pass?
Yes, of course.
Because they released like Halo and stuff like
There's
that.
a lot of big titles on their
Is
Xbox
the Switch
Game Pass.
powerful
Yes.
enough to play these
So here's
games?
the
That's
thing.
where
Here's
my
the thing.
mind went.
So they're going to use I think they called it Cloud X. It's a streaming technology. So they're going to have an app on their Switch, and they're actually going to stream the game to the console.
But again, is the
so
processing
you
power of
need
the
to
Switch
have
enough?
Wi-Fi. Well,
Yeah,
it
of
makes
course.
sense what he's saying. Well, yeah, I guess that's still true.
Because again, the processing power of the Switch is very limited. Like, yeah, they're able to port some games, but it's a process. Like,
It's already what
for
they
instance,
do with
it's kind of like how they
PC.
do with that Marvel 3 tweet that I sent you guys.
Something
where
like
it's
that,
like
yeah.
a cloud-based playing where you're
Yes.
actually playing off of the person's physical game.
Yes, similar to that.
I mean,
And
I guess that makes
Xbox
sense.
already does something similar with this because they have their crossplay with their PC games.
Yeah.
So they
Play anywhere.
You can stream your Xbox games to your PC. Obviously, PC has better hardware.
Yeah.
But I mean, the technology's there, and if they're going for it, I mean, it would. If this turns out to be true, the technology would have to be there for this to even be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just my thought process is that will they be able to control the rendering on the Nintendo Switch? Because my thought is, okay, the Switch is obviously a less powerful console compared to the Xbox One and PS4 by a decent amount. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they have to downgrade games like, for instance, Doom on the Switch it's a decent looking game, and Wolfenstein 2, another game, again, ported to Switch, but they had to downgrade the quality quite a bit in order to make it run. And it does run well in the Switch, I've heard. Though I believe a 60 frame per second game on Xbox One and PS4, they downgraded to 30 to run on Switch, as well as downgrading the graphics overall. But I wonder, does that mean that any games that they do that for, they will have to make a port for the Switch in order for them to stream it, or will it just automatically stream at a lower quality? Like,
That's
for
what I
instance,
would
you know what I
imagine.
mean?
I would
Like, maybe
imagine.
at 480p as opposed to 1080p.
Or maybe it's only
beyond.
certain games from the past. Maybe it's not like Cuphead where it's
The-
realistic games you can program.
Accompanying the rumor,
Yeah.
it says that Ori and the Blind Forest would be the very first game.
And I think that's a great example of not overstressing the Switch and being like a great game for it as well.
Right.
If this is real, it's exciting, and I wish Sony would join the bandwagon already, but they don't really need to. They've won this generation
this
for like the
console
longest.
generation, yeah.
Except for
Well,
the fact that Nintendo came so late.
I was having
but they've
this-
been doing great too.
I was having this conversation with my little brother, and I actually think it's a smart move because it's Xbox way of getting into the handheld
Yep.
without actually putting any real money into it.
Exactly.
I mean, they're putting money, but they're not designing it. They're not doing what the PlayStation fucking did and did the
With the
PSP
bullshit
and the
PSP.
Vita
and the Vita that
PSP Go.
failed. I mean, at least the
And the
PSP was
phone.
successful.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
forgot
forgot
about
about
that.
the PS phone.
All that
Oh
fun,
my god.
all that fun stuff. So it's really smart if this is the route they're taking because they are technically going mobile, or
Of course, that's the future of gaming.
without making an actual mobile console. It's
Exactly.
great. It's a great idea.
Cut costs, and they still get a cut of the money
still
that they're going
gonna
to be
get
making.
cut,
Nintendo, I imagine, will definitely take a percentage since it's people buying it through their hardware. But at the same time, as long as Microsoft gets a cut, I'm sure they're fine with that.
Hey, do you guys remember when I wanted to buy stock and it was
Yeah.
only like
I think
fucking
about that
$3?
to this day. I remember it got down as low as $8,
It was-
$3.
I think it was $7.
It was when the Wii U was
Yeah.
failing, and I so regret it to this day because now they're on top of the world.
We would be mildly rich.
We would be like low-end executives.
We would be, Carl's Jr. rich, not
Yeah.
not Jack in the Box.
not
rich.
Jack in the Box. I don't know. The
Mildly
advertising
rich.
of Jack in the Box is pretty spot on nowadays. Or I guess they always kind of have been.
Yeah.
Even still, that doesn't
But
mean
yeah,
that a
we would
company is
be
successful.
rich.
Yeah. We wouldn't be
Ish.
McDonald's though, not yet. Well, you know what? No more company names unless they're going to pay us to say
know,
them.
right?
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
I'm completely lost on this. I don't even. I
don't like
know
it
what's
now.
out
I
there
think
right
I'm
now.
hungry though.
I know, right? Can we have a snack cast? That'd be kind of fun. God damn. All right, well, I think that's about it for news, right, guys?
I believe so.
Okay, well then, just before we get into the main topics, which is again our favorite fan theories, we do have to mention a few things. So if you ever have any topics or questions you want us to bring up and shout you out for in near future episodes, go ahead and email us at stgeekpod@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter with the same handle. That's at stgeekpod on both of those. Also, as said in the top of this episode, there was probably a little ad read there. We are brought to you by muzmm.com. If you want to save 20% on your next order, you can go to muzmm.com/discount/STGeekPod. And you can even use the STGeekPod discount code. Again, that's to save 20% off. Peter's actually a customer of the company. And what are they all about, Peter?
They're all about bags and
Luggage, if you will.
luggage, if you will.
Important.
Bags that are backpacks, but it's also a duffel bag, and
You
it's
could put your
pretty
Switch
awesome.
in it, I'm
you
assuming,
could put your
right?
Switch in
You
it.
could probably put your Xbox and PlayStation 4 in there as well.
You
It's
could
pretty
probably put
spacious.
both of them. It is
Oh, we
very
got a
spacious.
trip coming up.
And your laptop.
Yeah, we do.
We can put console in there.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
bad
we
idea.
take a Vegas trip every summer for like the past, what is it going to be, 9 years now?
Fuck, that's
Crap.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
actually,
it's
that'll
been
be
about 9
perfect
years.
for our trip, Peter. That's actually awesome. Yeah, it has like
Yeah.
a laptop
what's a
carrier
laptop?
packet or pocket in there as well, right?
Yes, it does.
Gotcha. Well, what do you like about it so much? Talk to the people.
It's sturdy.
Sturdy.
It holds a lot of stuff.
Does it have
It's
a zipper?
It has a zipper.
Ooh.
And it has a cup holder on the side.
Damn. There you go.
Need I say more?
Right? Got your hydro flask on you. Where are you going to put it? You're going to put it in that dang little pocket there. That's what
Hell
you're going to do with it.
yeah.
Yes, hell yes. They actually come with 2 different sizes. They have like a smaller size and a large size, which is what Peter got. He got the charcoal design, if
Peter
I'm not
always got to
mistaken.
go large.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's the only
You
way he
know
does. Not even from Texas. What a poser. But anyway, they have a bunch of groovy designs. Like Peter talked about in the last one, that the watermelon coloring is pretty sick. I like the big Caribbean myself. Those are like my top 2. But the charcoal is a pretty close third, I'd have to say. Though they have a nice black one. I feel like they have a nice fancy name for that one that's not coming to mind. Maybe I'll insert name here. But either way, yeah, pretty cool design. So thank you, MUZMM, for sponsoring this episode of the STGeek Podcast. Again, if you want to save 20% off your order, you can go to muzmm.com/discount/STGeekPod and or use STGeekPod discount code for 20% off. Thanks so much, MUZMM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now let's get into it, boys. We have our favorite fan theories. We're going to shoot off a few, probably. Some might be quicker than others. Some we're probably going to go ham and deep on. We are 30 minutes in, so maybe we'll do it for like the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. We'll figure it out. Let's not put too much of a limit on it for now. But anyway, John, start us off, good sir.
The Powerpuff Girls is in the same universe as Samurai Jack.
Whoa.
Yep. I'm familiar
So-
with this one.
Just to throw this out there, that the creator actually did come out and say that they are not connected.
Oh, okay.
It was just it was a nice little Easter egg, but there are like certain scenes where you'll see Samurai Jack walking past a billboard, and it's the same exact billboard and street in the Powerpuff
In the city
Girls.
of Townsville.
Yeah, right. Exactly. 3 little girls, but no, that is part of the universe. They can't reuse the same assets and say it's not real. Come on, that's real.
They asked him on a Reddit, "Ask Me Anything," and he said they're not connected.
I think that's just Cartoon Network
Yeah, he's
being
full of
lazy,
shit. You
reusing
did it.
assets.
It's
I know,
done.
right? Don't try to dissuade us. He's probably holding off till they make the Powerpuff Girl Samurai Jack like fusion show or something like that, or movie. That'd be kind of crazy, actually. I don't think they work well together, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they definitely look like they're the same art style. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was made by the same, or at least drawn, illustrated by the
yeah.
same person. Because they look very similar in art style, like same as Dexter's Lab, all those old Cartoon Network and Toonami-esque
classics.
shows, exactly, from like the 90s and early thousands, 2000s, that is. Yeah, I'm down with that though. If it were real, I mean, they're both they both have like their superhero-esque characters and supervillains. Also, I don't know how well the Gang Green Gang or Mojo Jojo would do fighting against
Jojo.
Samurai Jack.
Oh, yeah.
But that is pretty cool though. I like the idea of it. What do you think, Peter?
I mean, it's fun.
I was never
think
the
you guys
biggest
covered
Samurai
pretty
Jack
much
fan.
everything.
Yeah.
I liked Samurai Jack back in the day. I liked the Powerpuff Girls too. I thought it was great.
I actually watched that more. I felt like the art style for Samurai Jack, even though I said they look very similar, for some reason the tone of the commercials for it threw me off. I didn't really care for how dark and brooding they made it seem. But as I got older, like in high school and leaving high school, it grew on me more, the look of it.
Some
but I never
episodes
watched
are sillier than others.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
It was like an American anime, right? Like,
Yeah.
it reminds me
It's
of
definitely
like,
not Japanese made.
They definitely try to get at that feeling though of Japanese anime, but kind of like Last Airbender, where it's still anime,
Yeah.
but it's American anime. You can tell they're trying to be Japanese anime.
Yes, exactly.
Great, though.
Like they take good inspiration from it and use cool assets of anime, but make it more relative for an American audience, I guess you could say.
It should have been on Toonami. I think that was just
Yeah.
like a regular Cartoon Network show.
It was.
And they didn't have it a part of the Toonami lineup. Not until the very end when they brought it back,
yes.
2 years ago.
And then it was officially part of Toonami for that little bit, right? For the final season?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Peter, do you want to jump on one?
Sure. The one that we talked about last week, the one that started this, that gave us the idea for this whole episode.
yes.
The Elsa, the Tarzan being their brother.
Yes.
I had forgot that's technically confirmed. That's canon.
Oh, what?
The co-director in a Reddit AMA, when asked about if their parents had died, he said they actually didn't die. They landed on
Right
an
away.
island, and the queen had a baby, and they were killed by leopards.
He said that. They said that.
Jennifer Lee.
Sorry. I'm a terrible person.
Now,
Yep.
I've heard this from another podcast we all listen to, The Weekly Planet. Yeah,
Sure.
I'm gonna
Shout outs to
plug-
you guys.
I'm gonna
Great
plug them in.
podcast.
It's true. Their British in Tarzan, but in Frozen they are English. They
They're,
speak,
I thought they were Dutch or
something like that.
but they're
And
not
Belgian
They're
or
not
something
of
like
the
that.
same.
Scandinavian. I
yeah,
don't
they're
know.
not of the same origin. So how does that work?
I honestly
That
think it
sounds
was
like
just some
bullshit.
funny
He just
thing.
he was just like not a wink.
Oh, okay, I got you. Just doing the Disney thing, just having fun with
But
it.
technically, it's canon.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
not wrong.
I mean,
Until
I like
the sequel
idea
comes
of
out
it.
and they ignore it or something. I don't know.
They probably just won't like mention the parents at all.
How great is Tarzan, by the way, guys?
Tarzan's so
It's
great.
amazing.
We talked about it last time. It's an
Let's talk
amazing
about it
movie.
again. Fuck it, it's
right?
great.
Yeah, I'll talk about Tarzan all day. Great soundtrack, great art style, great voice acting
Phil
for
Collins,
sure.
great. Yeah.
Oh,
Phil,
yeah.
dude, can't get enough of Phil Collins, especially in that movie. I feel like that's like I haven't really heard any great music of him since then, but I feel like he's made so
He
much
killed
friggin'
it.
money. Does he need to make music anymore?
Did you guys watch the Tarzan '90s cartoon show? Or it was early 2000s?
I watched
Yeah.
it for a
I
split
watched a bit.
second. It was
I
a little
did.
too.
I loved it.
I think I grew out of it at that point. Maybe just because I
Fuck
felt like
you,
the
AJ.
arts. It wasn't to the same caliber as the movie. I'll say.
All right,
I'll say that
Yeah,
much.
well, obviously.
Yeah, but it was a cool little show. It was fun. It was fun. But like that, I didn't watch Timon and Pumbaa much though either. If you guys remember that,
I liked that one.
What about
I like that one way
Hercules?
more.
the Hercules series and Timon and Pumbaa, they were all right. They were
Aladdin.
cool. I watched a
I
little
watched
bit of
a
Aladdin.
bit of the Aladdin
just a
one.
bit.
Yes, this is for the '90s kids. This
Didn't they
is
have
the
a Little
episode for the
Mermaid
90s
one?
kids,
They
apparently.
fucking made a series out of everything, didn't they?
Back
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they made those movie spin-offs like they still do today. Like Aladdin, Return of Jafar, and King of Thieves or whatever it was.
King of Thieves was great.
King of Thieves was great.
That was the only one I
Return of
missed.
Jafar was the bad one.
I didn't watch that one too much.
It was
I
all
didn't
right.
care for it.
It was all
Yeah.
right. And that, I mean, they both obviously, I'm sure, were not as good as the first one.
King
I
of
only-
Thieves is pretty
good.
Wow.
man.
It was the return of Robin Williams reprising
Yep.
his role as Genie, so I imagine it was at least probably pretty decent.
Do you remember the scene where they're jumping out of the plane? And
Oh,
the
yeah.
genie's all over
Pocahontas.
They're jumping out of a plane in Aladdin?
Yeah,
It's the
Thieves.
genie
Yeah.
being the genie.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Fair enough. It's
pretty great.
Pocahontas. Oh my god. That's another good Disney movie. God dang. Anyway,
right,
okay.
yeah.
It's all part of the Renaissance.
Right? I mean,
It was
but
all good. The 90s were booming for Disney. Some of their best.
like we
Only
talked,
90s kids will agree.
yeah, probably. Well, I feel like a lot of kids after that, their parents are a little bit from around that
They're
era,
still
if
not
not a
going to
little
say those are
earlier.
the best. They're going to remember the ones that we grew up. Much like we're saying the
Yeah.
90s ones are the best because they're the ones we grew up with.
Sure. I will never say Frozen 1 anyway is the best like Disney CG movie, you know what I mean? That's
God,
not Pixar,
no.
right? It's definitely just Disney.
Just
It's
Because
just
they're
Disney.
singing in it and all that. Pixar doesn't do the singing so much.
I
The
got,
musicals?
Coco, my friend.
I'm going to go
That's
off.
Pixar.
Coco.
Coco was Pixar.
Was it?
We
Yep.
just looked it
I
up.
just
before
looked
the
it
Oh
up,
shit!
yeah,
Thank you.
before you
Okay,
showed it.
I guess that was like a good branching. And Moana has. Oh no, Moana's Disney, not Pixar, right?
I don't know.
I think-
believe
I don't know
Moana
anymore.
was Disney.
Because it's a princess movie. Yes.
Yes, I want to say yes.
Even though,
Let's
yeah.
say yes.
Okay.
Whether or not it's true, we're deciding yes. It is
Cool.
Disney.
Okay,
and not
fair
Pixar.
enough. Cool. And we are law on the STGeek podcast.
It is
This is our
established.
reality.
Right? Huzzah! Were you going to say something, John?
Peter.
Oh, Peter, pardon me. I like John better. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't know. Okay, so what was I going to
I
say?
thought you were continuing
You
on
were
from
going to say
Frozen.
something else. Yeah.
I was. I did. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'll jump in and say, just like we talked about last week, even though Frozen 1 is definitely not our favorite Disney CG movie or Disney movie in general, Frozen 2, again, I'm hyped for. I don't really know if I care so much about the combined universe of Tarzan and Frozen in general, but I'm still hyped for the second movie. The trailer looks great. I'm super excited. I wanted to watch Frozen 1 to be reminded of how the possibility of the parents being linked together between both movies is a thing. And I just haven't taken the time to watch Frozen 1 again yet since last episode. And I want to
Right.
just to see how much I believe in it.
I don't think they're not confirmed dead. Not in the movie anyway. They just got lost at sea. They went out on a ship and they never came back.
Nah, they're goners.
You're dead.
I mean, you saw what's her name, Elsa, trying to like freeze her way across the ocean. Maybe she's trying to look for her parents. I don't know. We'll see.
That's a good point. That's a good thing. That is a good point. Maybe they will bring the parents back for the second one. I don't know what the point would be other than, yay, we could be family again. But, I mean, sometimes loss is just a good thing to put in a Disney movie to kind of teach kids that.
Well, it's in all
not everything-
Disney movies from those
Yeah.
Renaissance days. Even though
That's
this isn't
true.
Renaissance, but that is a Disney thing where they kill off the parents in the beginning.
Usually the mother,
More,
yeah.
it works because you become more emotionally attached right from the start.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's a
So
very
you're more
basic
invested
formula.
into it.
yeah,
It works.
It's true. Or in Moana, spoilers,
I
you
cried
like
lose
a bitch
grandma
and
instead.
up.
What's that?
Oh, was
Oh, no. That's true. You lose grandma on that one. That was pretty sad. Oh. Anyway, moving on.
I never saw it.
Oh, no? Up?
I saw that,
Oh, shit.
that opening. Yeah, and I never
did you
seen
never
it.
actually seen Up?
No,
Oh,
I never
wow.
saw it.
I saw it.
I think I
it,
saw
yeah.
like the first 30 minutes, and it was good.
It's a good Pixar
but I
film.
never got around to finishing
I'm
it.
gonna watch that today.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys have ever seen or listened to the song "Upular" by an artist named Pogo, he does a
Great
good
song,
remix
yeah.
of just the voice acting. It's weird to Matt to explain what Pogo does as an artist, but
He takes different sounds from the movie.
Sound
and
bites, yeah.
he makes a song out of it.
it's pretty awesome, and he does it for Disney
Disney
and
in
Pixar. Oh, I believe they commissioned him to do that.
I don't think it was it Upload. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But he had to pull Alice from
Yes.
his YouTube channel when they signed that.
Yes, it is. We're getting in the weeds
we're
a little
really
bit. We're
going-
tangenting, but anyway, let's move on. So one I wanted to bring up, I forgot one already right when I started to say that, but I'll bring up another one. Then you guys know I'm a big Pokemon fan, and this is one that people have talked about here and there throughout this
Ash
few
died
years,
when he got electrocuted.
or at
Yeah.
least that he's in a coma.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
is that
so
what you were gonna
It's
say?
a coma.
yeah,
Oh, shit,
that's
my
the
bad.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah. So pretty. No, that's okay. Yeah, pretty much that.
Damn, way to fucking steal his thunder,
I
John.
know, right? Oh, thunder
Oh,
that
this-
Pikachu used to attack the Spearow that attacked them in episode 1, thus causing the coma.
Recovered.
Yes.
Good job,
there
AJ.
we go. Thunder retained. God dang. But anyway, so that is the case. In the first episode of the Pokemon anime, Ash and Pikachu are getting chased down by Spearow and maybe even Fearow. I don't really remember, but it's a Pokemon that's a bird type. Anyway, Pikachu, to save them, I believe, does like a giant electric attack, which then causes them to go flying. The Spearow leave them alone, and all is done and saved at the end of the day. And Ash and Pikachu wake up from the shock, literally, and then see Ho-Oh through another mythical Pokemon through the sky, and it's all beautiful and graceful. And then the Pokemon adventure truly begins after that episode. But there is the theory where, yes, when they actually get knocked out from the electric blast, Ash is still always in like this, I guess, coma.
He's
you could say,
actually in a
comatose
coma,
state. Yeah.
and everything that happens from that point on is all in his head. That's
Which
why he
is why
doesn't
he didn't
age.
age.
Yes.
That's why Officer Jenny and
Nurse
Nurse
Joy.
Joy are always the same.
Same person or same people over
They're
and
always,
over.
they look the same. Mm-hmm. And why he always seems to come across all these legendary Pokemon. Like, it's, yeah.
It is weird. And
You
like,
ain't choisin', boy. Choisin'.
Choisin'.
You ain't choisin', boy. But yeah, and it explains also why he's able to die and come back to life, like in the first movie as well. He gets turned to stone, and all the trippy stuff with like Pokemon tears bringing him back to life. It's very far fetched,
talking?
no pun intended.
What's going on there?
They
Right.
explain that.
Yeah, but
What's
I mean,
that?
it's not.
They explain that
I
in the
see
anime.
seashells by the seashore. I know
Yeah.
the episode.
Yeah.
Well, also, we talked about this also a few episodes back where, Peter, I think you were the one that brought it up, in that there's a scene in one of the more recent Pokemon movies. It's called, actually, Pokemon I Choose You. Pretty good movie, I gotta say. It had a theatrical release, and it's when Pikachu actually talks.
Yeah.
And it's a point where it's similar to the first movie where there's a big electric blast from Pikachu again being an asshole and trying to save everyone, and it pretty much kills Ash. He dies. And he goes into a comatose state where his soul is transcending to another universe to where there are no Pokemon, and he's living in a normal world like
This
the one we
happens
live
in the movie?
Yes.
No
it's
way.
very weird.
What?
Yes. It's
That's
very
pretty
crazy.
dark.
I gotta see that.
It is dark. There's actually a Pokemon that dies in that movie in a kind of a sad man. It's a good movie. It's
Holy
actually
shit.
It's a cool movie. I won't. As far as Pokemon movies go, it's like a decent.
As far as
movie in
Pokemon
general.
movies go, it's sad and it's gonna cry and it's the best.
But
That's
because
what I'm hearing.
it's actually like decent writing, and you get some emotion out of it rather than everything's happy-go-lucky and water gun Squirtle and all that.
Yeah.
It's actually like kind
Have you
of
seen
fun.
the first movie? It's pretty dark.
It is a little dark. You got
cried.
Pokemon biting each other and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's pretty sad.
They can't
I think
use
I cried too.
their special attack, so they have to like literally beat
There's the part
each
where
other,
Pikachu's like just slapping each other, and it's
crying
all
as
sad.
they do it.
Yeah.
Cheer, cheer.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, it's not as sad when you say it, but
I'm just saying. Anyway, but yeah, in this movie at Pokemon I Choose You, there's the electric blast, and Ash transcends into this world where there are no Pokemon, and it's just people. And essentially, like, he has to find, his soul has to come back to the Pokemon world because he realizes that he mistreated Pikachu in the movie. Like, they kind of break up, if you will, because like he kind of pushes this blame of Ash losing a battle to Pikachu. And it's kind of a dark movie. It has its darker tones for sure.
what if side twist? What if he went to the Digimon world?
That would be
How cool
And he
would that
would be saved. He would be truly
Yeah.
saved.
Charmander?
Because Digimon's
Yeah.
better.
That would be pretty
That
tight,
would be
actually.
awesome, right?
Charizard, why are you metal?
Why are
all
you
of a sudden?
metal? Yeah.
Exactly. That would actually be pretty amazing. If there was a crossover, I would see it. I would watch it.
There we go.
That would be
That's
tight.
their tie-in.
That's another. That's our fan theory.
Yeah, he went
Yes.
to the Digimon world.
Yeah, but any thoughts on the validity or possibility of that? If you guys see this movie I'm talking about, it makes it's. I wonder if it's kind of a nod nod that they're doing toward that fan theory in general.
Possibly. There's a to go hand in hand. I wasn't going to bring this up, but since this is your theory, did you also hear about the one where seeing Ho-Oh in that first episode actually? I think they say in the episode that it grants you like your wish or whatever, like your deepest desires, and that his wish was to be like the best Pokemon trainer ever, and that's why he never ages. Or no, his most deepest desire was to be a Pokemon trainer on an adventure.
Pokemon Master.
Pokemon Master.
Yeah.
And that's why he never ages, and that's why he's always coming across all these legendary Pokemon. Because if he doesn't age, then he will always be on this journey. Like it's more so the chase than the destination.
That makes sense. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, that's more
So
believable.
I like
think.
that one
Yes.
more so than I like the coma theory.
Yes, I've never heard the one that you mentioned. That's actually really cool. I mean, both kind of coincide with Ho-Oh, and Ho-Oh is actually, that legend that you talked about is actually a big part of the movie I mentioned earlier. Okay. I Choose You. Again, it's a pretty cool story
You
going
sold
on.
it
It's
on
kinda
me. We're
deep.
going to watch it, AJ.
Really?
You've sold it on me anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I probably
It's on
won't
Netflix.
I just thought it was a retelling.
Oh, it's on
of-
Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I'll probably watch it.
Just kick back for a night, have a couple beers, and have fun. It's chill. It's chill. The Pokemon
Have a
battles
couple
are kind of
beers
cool.
and watch Pokemon like an
Pokemon,
adult,
yeah.
goddammit.
Exactly. Well, Pokemon
How it should be
card
watched.
battle. Exactly. With a good buzz on. Goddamn. This episode brought to you by Jack Daniels. Anyway, definitely not.
It's
but
not
that would be
really.
cool.
Jack
Jack
Daniels
Daniels
sucks.
sponsor us. Pay us. Thank you.
Unless you want to sponsor us, then you're great.
Of course.
They can just give us bottles. I'm okay with bottles.
Yeah, right.
Gas.
Pay us some bottles. God, we're gonna have like a backlog of bottles. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, Jesus, alcoholic podcast. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I like your idea or what you brought up, Peter, as well, and that infinite youth. Because again, Ho-Oh is like a Pokemon similar to a Phoenix in that it brings rebirth. There's another story within the Pokemon universe where it deals with rebirth, and it kind of makes sense as to like instead of rebirth for Ash, it's more like infinite youth, you could say.
Sure.
Or I mean, also in that first episode, they ultimately kind of die and then wake up the next morning. Perhaps it's that Ho-Oh quote unquote graced them with its presence that they were able to rise again. I don't really know, but I think those are pretty fun theories. I've never been much of a fan theory guy, but that's one I kind of connect with a little bit.
Okay.
All right. What about you, Peter?
Oh, geez, I got another one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a quick one. Sandy died at the beginning of Grease. You heard about
I
that
didn't-
one?
No, I don't care for Grease.
I grew up liking that movie. I don't care for it now.
Let me tell you guys.
Oh, please.
Grease. So Danny
Zuko in the house.
I used to love Grease.
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably still know all of the songs and probably all the dialogue.
We
got
got to sing one for the outro. Okay.
Because my little sister would watch this movie over and over and over and over again, like literally back to back for weeks, and I can't stand this fucking movie anymore.
We share
I
a
used
similar
to love
tale. Yeah.
I think we all do.
I
The older
used to
brothers.
love it.
Mine is Nemo.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I can't stand this movie anymore.
I feel
But
you.
I do. I know. There is that. Okay, so I kind of the validity of this theory, I think, is probably more likely, honestly, because there's a bit at the end where the car just starts flying out of fucking nowhere,
And they're going, like, to
literally out
heaven,
of nowhere.
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
everybody's just like waving at them, like, "Oh, this is normal." Like,
Like,
hey, it's
bye.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So the only way that you can explain that happening is if this is not really happening. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing else in the world that establishes that this is a thing.
Everything else is mostly grounded in reality. They
Yes.
have like teenage dropout or beauty school dropouts. They have teens potentially getting pregnant while in high school. It's a pretty, besides the singing and dancing the entire time, it's a believable world that we live in,
Yeah.
And then they're flying through the sky, like you said. I don't know.
Out of nowhere. Yep.
Kind of.
So-
Is there a point where in the movie she had supposedly died?
Yeah, that's,
in the beginning of the movie, no, wait. Do they talk about it in the beginning? No, they talk about it in the
They met while they were on like summer
the
vacation.
beach. She almost drowned, and Danny Zuko read. It's in the middle of one of the songs.
Oh, okay.
That she almost drowned, and that he saved her, and that's how they met. So the theory is that she actually. She's clinging to life as the movie progresses, and then at the very end, she's actually going to heaven because she's dying.
That's so dark. I mean,
That's
Like it's all going on in her head.
I imagine.
so many in the heads.
That's
Comas,
a lot of
almost
fan
dying,
theories.
yeah. That's how they start.
Yeah.
That's where my mind was about to go. Is that I was anticipating with all these fan theories, a majority of them would be about head injuries and comas or deaths and stuff like that, or dreaming the entire time.
There's
You
also
know what I
one
mean?
for that '70s show.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I've heard that, but it's barely ringing a bell. What is that? If you don't mind,
Halfway
tangenting?
through the series, I think
Eric.
supposedly gets trapped. It's in an episode. There's like a tornado or something,
Okay.
and so and Eric's like off by himself. So the theory is that he actually went into a coma in that one, and so the rest of the series, it's not actually happening.
Damn.
And
That's a dumb theory.
I don't remember. I think the reason of the theory was because
The writer who thought of it was he didn't like the inconsistencies of the show.
that's what it
how
was.
It was going on.
Yeah, you're right.
I see. Well,
That's why I think it's dumb. He just did it because he wasn't happy with the way the show was
Yeah.
going.
he went into a coma from a tornado.
Yeah, like maybe he got swooped up and he
Because they
didn't
mentioned
know.
That would be awesome to
Because
see.
in the episode, you hear in the
Oh.
background on the radio that the tornado was like clear, like it's gone, but
That's a great
there was
episode.
one teenage youth who got injured or something like that.
Oh wow!
Because
Interesting.
he doesn't even know it happened. He gets to Donna. She's like, "You came for me because of the tornado," and he's like, "There's a tornado."
Yeah,
Like, he freaks out.
That's a really good episode.
So random.
Which would probably explain why he. No, it's dumb. I don't like that. theory.
I don't
Yeah.
like the theory.
I'm trying
it's
to save
literally
it,
just
yeah.
them backpedaling, being like, "Fuck." A lot of this stuff doesn't make sense, so fuck it. It's in coma.
I feel
coma
ya.
theory. That's the problem with these theories, that the coma solves everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's
Yeah,
all in
exactly.
your head.
Yeah, it could all just be imagination or whatever at that point. Exactly. But some of them are pretty cool.
Some
though.
of them
Like-
are fun.
Yeah. John, did you have another one by chance?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So, not a coma one, but
cool.
kind of sleep related. So in Inception,
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know this one.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw the Leo's character. What's his name on Cobb?
I
Cobb
think so,
sounds
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Cobb.
In the movie, the totem, the thing that lets them know when they're asleep or awake with his,
That top they have?
it was the top, but I guess it was his wife's. So they never actually said what his was because he's always using his wife.
Yes.
So the theory behind it is his wedding ring is actually his. So when he's asleep, he actually has a wedding ring, and then when he's awake, it's off. So they're saying that he woke up at the end of the movie because he didn't actually have the wedding ring on. It was like,
Yep.
I'm actually touching an imaginary ring. Kind of weird.
That's pretty trippy. Yeah, and also just the ending in and of itself, it has that cliffhanger where you don't know if he is
So
alive or awake
the top
or
is
still dreaming.
pointless. They're saying because
Yeah.
he's not even wearing the ring, so you know he's.
So it
actually
doesn't even matter. It's a misdirect.
I feel you. No,
Which makes
that's
sense,
pretty
right?
cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
I
makes
like that.
absolute sense.
I would like to re-see that movie again because I haven't seen it in
Yeah,
several
it's been a
years.
long time.
And I there are things that I liked about it and stuff that I thought was just okay.
They got some Doctor Strange shit going on in that.
Yeah,
movie.
that's true. The bending buildings and the earth and all that shit. Actually, that was that your guys' at least first time seeing Tom Hardy on film or on screen? I think that's my first Tom
Probably.
Hardy movie. Actually, he was actually a
Didn't-
pretty cool character in that movie.
That movie came out before Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That was
Then yeah, that may have been my first
Yeah.
experience with them.
It was probably at least a couple years before Dark Knight Rises, if I'm not mistaken. And that was I remember thinking this guy's really, really cool, and I like his character. Like you mustn't be afraid to dream bigger, darling, or something like that. And he pulls out like a gigantic like Tommy gun or some assault rifle.
I didn't
sniper rifle,
I
something
didn't
like
know
that.
him as an actor at the time, so
Yeah.
So I'm sure like he was cool, but I didn't know who he was.
He didn't
Oh,
stick
okay.
out to you.
Exactly.
He was just there. He's
Yeah,
another cool
exactly.
character.
He has a couple cool lines in the movie, yeah, and he has a couple cool action scenes, but nothing too extreme. But yeah, I mean, it goes to show he was able to get in touch with Christopher Nolan, which then put him through as Bane later on. Kind of see that connection there. And
Christopher Nolan likes to reuse or work with actors that he's worked
Recycle
with before.
actors?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of like what's his name?
Well, I guess
Burton
there's a
with
few
Johnny
of
Depp?
them.
Not Tim Burton.
Full circle?
Yeah, they're actually
Tim Burton to a lesser or
The guy
not
who
as
did
good
Glass.
degree.
Why can't I think of his name?
M.
Shyamalan.
Night Shyamalan, yeah.
he does that a bit.
That's true. Good point. Yeah. I see that. All right. There was another one I wanted to touch on. Again, we might have crossovers. I'm not sure, but there's the one that I think we might have mentioned a little bit in the past of this episode or in this show. That is, but I like the snap from Thanos in Infinity War. Are the ones that disappeared the ones that actually are alive, or did they actually die? I like the thought of, are the people that disappeared, are they the ones that actually survived the snap, and everyone else is left in that limbo together?
Yeah, I've heard that theory as well.
And I feel like the Avengers Endgame trailer it's not confirmed either way, but I feel like it takes away from that theory a little bit because, again, you still have these superheroes coming together and trying to regroup. But we still don't know what's going to happen with these other quote-unquote dead characters that got dusted away.
Do you know about the rumor that's going on?
There's so many rumors.
Well, there's like toys were released, so people are kind of a little bit more like, this is going to happen in the movie. I don't know if you want me to say it. I mean, it's a theory that everybody's already talking about.
Toys do spoil movies a lot.
Yeah.
However, they don't always. So I'm okay to hear this.
So
If
spoiler
you want-
warning.
Yeah, skip ahead maybe 5 minutes just in
it's
case.
a rumor, so
We probably won't talk too deeply on it, but yeah, go ahead.
it'll be very quick. So
5 minutes.
It's a toy, if that. that shows Iron Man, Ant-Man, and War Machine wearing certain suits, and the suits look similar to the Endgame trailer suits that the characters were wearing.
I see, okay.
And there's like a robot there, so they're assuming Tony Stark builds the robot to actually go into the quantum realm to pick out these characters.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
All the toy shows is the 3 and then the robot.
I see. But what my question is, what about that robot does make fans think that that's the key to getting characters out of the quantum realm?
Yeah,
they're just stretching,
pieces together.
reaching.
together.
I see. Okay, I don't know what there is to piece together. Then there's a robot. That robot can literally be just like a drone that just fights, a combat drone or whatever.
Validity of this. Why can't I say that word?
Validity.
I don't think it's good.
Yeah. But either way, though, I like
sure.
the snap idea. Though I think it's kind of fun. And that, what if that's the case? And that's going to be the big twist.
I would love to do this again. Let's remember this. So if it happens,
We're not gonna, but go on.
we can remind Peter. So fuck you, Peter. Or you're right,
You're
Peter.
right.
I love
Gotcha. We might have to reinsert that.
Our famous segments.
Yes. Oh
Fuck
man.
you, Peter.
Fuck you, Peter,
or.
What episode was that? I want to go back and listen to that. I was kind of proud of that.
Where
That was
you
a fun edit.
said Spider-Verse
Yes.
was going to make the most money from the 3 movies.
So it was the episode after Aquaman. Then it would have had to been. Yeah.
Because the numbers came out for Aquaman, and I was like, remember
okay.
when Peter said this?
Yes,
I
there
still
you go.
have no memory.
It's
I've
there
heard
in
the recording, but I don't remember.
It's not fake
I think
news,
y'all
I
drugged me or
promise.
something. I don't know.
Unless I was able to edit together a sentence of you,
did.
I could have done that. Though again, the editing software I use is not that sophisticated. If I maybe had like
He's trying
Adobe
to throw me
Premiere,
off the scent. He did it. He did it.
in a way, it's real news. Anyway, all right. What's the next fan theory? Unless you guys wanted to expand upon the snap further, I like the idea of it. It sounds fun. It could be the twist. I don't think it is.
I don't
though.
think they're gonna do that.
I don't-
That adds another layer of. There's already like time travel gonna play a part
There's so
and
much of that.
in different dimensions. Like it just adds a whole nother layer that I don't think they're gonna cover, even with a 3-hour movie that may not be 3
How
hours.
about if we just wait for the goddamn movie to come
Right?
out?
How about that?
That's what honestly. I've
don't
seen
care
so
about
many
those theories,
theories
yeah.
like pop up on my feed.
Oh, really?
I don't even
look
read
at
them anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like the movie's a couple months away. Like I'll just watch it. I don't.
And
I
then
don't
Captain Marvel's going to come out, and then there's going to be 50 more
care. Yeah.
theories. I just, okay.
Right. And I've been trying to avoid him just in case like one sounds valid enough. I just don't want to start being spoiled by stuff like that. So and the robot thing with the quantum realm, I think that's possible, but I'm hoping that's not how they do it.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but somehow, some way, Ant-Man does have to get out of the quantum realm in order to be able to meet up with Captain America and the rest of the squad, of course. But squad. Anyway, Peter, what's yours? What's your next?
This is a quick one. Breaking Bad and Walking Dead are in the same universe.
Okay, how?
In The Walking Dead, there's an episode where I think they're looking for pharmaceutical drugs or something like that, or they get supplies, and in one of the bags, there's blue meth. Or there's blue meth-like things, which is what Walter White makes
That's pretty cool.
in the Breaking Bad.
Because it's so pure that it's blue.
Something like that.
Right.
And then also there's
Both
another
AMC shows?
instance where they talk to a character who's reflecting on his life before the outbreak or whatever you want to call it, and he talks about how his drug dealer was like a white guy, and he one time he said like, "I'm gonna kill you, bitch," and Jesse Pinkman's infamous for using the word bitch.
Yeah.
And they're both from the same...
And they're both in AMC.
AMC shows, right? Yeah.
They can.
It can.
I think.
I mean, if it
that's-
does, that's a little fun thing.
That's a
I
cute
think
little
it's just a
nod to
fun
it.
nod,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people go even further to say that Walter White might be the reason the outbreak happens. Like something's wrong with his meth.
It's just a bunch of meth heads running around killing people.
Pretty much.
The strength that man has apple body.
That was some good shit he made.
I want some of that, man.
Right, exactly. This is the zombie shit right here. God damn. That's actually pretty awesome. I like that one.
So good, and I'm raise you from the dead.
Oh my god.
That altered beast shit.
I'm down with that. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, so that one's fun.
I'm down with that for sure. All right.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Breaking Bad, I wasn't gonna. This is completely unrelated. But did you guys hear? First off, did you watch the show?
First 2 seasons of Walking
seasons.
Finish it. It's
of
great.
both series actually. I watched
Finish
like the
it.
first
It's
2.
incredible.
Okay.
Probably my number 1 pick for best show
Breaking Bad.
ever.
Okay.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever.
I've heard it's
I feel,
really
like
How I
I'm,
Met Your
I feel
Mother.
like I'm overhyping it.
Do you think it's better than
No,
How I
no,
Met
no.
Your Mother? Oh.
I've watched the first 2
they're
seasons.
different kinds
No,
of
I
shows,
know, yeah.
but I'm talking about like storytelling
Of this-
and just how like
Yeah.
the character development, all this stuff. I think it's the best show that's ever been made.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think of another one.
I was going to say
Game of Thrones would be up there, but on the later seasons kind of feel a bit rushed. They're still
really?
good. I like Game of Thrones, but Breaking Bad, number one. Anyway,
sure.
the reason I bring it up is because they're actually making a sequel to it, a movie sequel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
That'd be cool to see.
Just want to throw it out.
But now I have to catch
there.
up with the show.
Same thing with Walking Dead and the main character that died.
Oh yeah, Rick Grimes is getting his own
little.
He's getting like 4 TV shows or 4 movies. I mean, something like that.
Wow, just within the Walking Dead universe.
Yeah.
So even though he doesn't have to be on the show anymore, he's still getting paid to be in
because
movies.
the way they
That's awesome.
say he died, but he didn't actually die.
He didn't
like
die
he
at
fell
all.
down a creek or down.
And then he got rescued by some people, and I don't know, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Spoilers for The Walking Dead, I guess. But
I
if
guess.
you haven't heard about it by now,
Yeah. Sorry about that.
then that means you're not a fan of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard about it, and I don't even watch the damn show anymore.
I enjoyed
stopped
the first 2
4
seasons.
seasons ago.
Yeah.
First season was great. Second season lost me.
It catches a lot of flack, which
And
I
then
understand.
the third season,
but I
it
liked
got better, and then from there, it's just been up and down. Like, some episodes are great, some episodes suck.
Makes sense. Well, I mean, when you start making a series go that long and not work off the source material that they have plenty of.
They work on the source material very well, actually.
Well, I heard like some characters are definitely treated differently. Some live and die and stuff like that.
There's some tweaks to it, but which I think
Kind of like Game of Thrones.
I'm drawing a complete blank on the writer's name. The person who wrote the comic books is actually is very heavily involved in the show, and he's gone on record to say that the changes he makes in the show are things that he regrets not doing in the comics.
Oh, okay.
So he's kind of using the show to course correct where he thinks some characters should have went and how they should have been and whatnot.
Interesting. Okay, no, I mean, I like that.
was
Especially
a few years ago, though.
If
Maybe
he's
it's
part
different
of
now.
that, then I respect that. Or if that is still the case, I thought they bought the rights to make it, or like they totally disconnected from that. I'm not sure if that's the case. But again, as long as that is the case, I like the idea that the author still had a good say, or at least was able to change his mind on certain things and have it to be to the benefit of the show at the very least.
And to its credit, it follows the comic books pretty darn well.
Oh, really? Okay.
In a lot of ways.
That's good to know.
I've read quite a few of the comics, and yeah, it's pretty good.
I have a couple friends that still watch it to this day. Our friends Jeff and Jocelyn, they still watch that show religiously, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, they still love it. But you know, when you're invested and you like something, why not? But again, it's not for me really.
Yeah,
But,
the show lost me after the first season. I thought the first season was amazing.
It was really
good. I wouldn't honestly.
And then-
it's not a show I'd recommend.
and then
If you like it, good for you. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not bashing you, but
No, not at all.
it's not a show that I would recommend past the first season.
Because is it season 2 that just fucking dragged forever?
Oh,
The
yeah.
farm.
And then
Herschel.
people always tell me, "Well, you have to get past it and it'll get better." Well,
It doesn't get that bad, much
I'm
better,
Okay, it really. I've never been so salty over like a show that dragged, and I watch Dragon Ball Z, and this show, fucking,
You know filler.
this season dragged.
Yeah,
it was
really did.
terrible.
Wow.
I just couldn't do it anymore.
So I'm someone that actually appreciated season 2 quite a bit.
Oh
I
my
thought I got
God.
to
He's
know
one
the
of those guys.
characters
I
a
think
lot
it
more.
concludes very well, but
Yeah.
it's just
When it concludes,
the
When it
first
concludes.
like 6 episodes, it drags.
Okay, fair enough.
There's a couple of shining moments where, like when I'm drawing a blank on his name, the Archer dude.
Yeah.
Like when he goes off to look for the girl by himself, and he kind of has this like.
Norman Reedus' character?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that episode's pretty cool. Like you get to follow certain characters' journeys and like and whatnot, and that's where the show shines in some aspects. But then there's the season 2 dragging was definitely a breaking point for me. I stopped
A lot
watching
of
the
people.
show because the first season was so good, and I was so excited for the second one. I stopped watching the second season after a few episodes. Didn't come back to it for like a good year and a half. I think the show was in season 4 by the time I decided to give it another chance.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And it does get better, but I don't think it gets as good as the first season.
Understandable.
It gets kind of samey after a while.
Oh, really? Okay. I can only imagine
I mean,
like
you
it's,
can only do so much with zombies.
Yeah.
I mean,
It works more in
you
a comic
find a
book.
safe place. Then
It
the
becomes
zombies
more.
come.
It becomes more about their relationship with other people, like other settlements, other like people they
How they
encounter,
have to,
and then the zombies are just kind of an afterthought. Like that in that aspect, it's interesting, but again, it feels like they don't know how to fill the entire season sometimes.
Sure.
And so there's just a lot of what are we doing?
Why not just make 8 episode long seasons and just call it a day?
This
you
is
know?
why streaming is better. Because streaming, you can commit to how many episodes you fucking want. Like,
Right.
but for TV, they want a certain amount of episodes, and it's a whole thing.
It's so dumb, and yet they allowed the first season to be only 6, 8
Probably
episodes,
because
something
they
like
didn't
that.
think too much about it.
Yeah, maybe.
It was like pilot season.
It was
Yeah,
a big
that makes
deal at the
sense.
time. I remember it got greenlit for a second season before the first one even aired.
Which I think
shit.
was deservedly so, but I mean, but once they saw the finished product, they're like, "Oh yeah, let's sell this
do it.
thing." Yeah. Which I think, again, in its inception, it was really great. And again, I'm someone that liked season 2 a lot, and I planned to watch season 3. If anything, the way that season 2 played out, especially the ending, like you guys said, it's very cool. And I was hyped for season 3, and then it's just too much time between 2 and 3 that I just ultimately fell off and never bothered to get back to it since then either. But yeah, ultimately, cool show. What I liked, I do agree that the first 2 seasons and probably the rest of the series as well so far, what I liked about it is that the zombies are cool. It's fun action, but it's more about the interpersonal communication between the characters, the actual people themselves, and the zombies in general.
Yeah.
The zombies, they're more of like a victim of circumstance than the zombies being the big overarching thing. You know what I mean?
So I wasn't going to bring this up, but this reminds me of another Walking Dead theory.
Sure.
There's a theory that all of the characters are borderline deaf.
Why is that?
Wow. Okay.
Because
In Breaking Bad?
I'm sorry, did I say Breaking Bad?
I,
meant Walking
I
Dead.
think I misheard you.
Okay, Walking Dead.
Okay.
Because I think I'm the only person that saw several seasons. There's some episodes where zombies. You live in a zombie world. There's so many times where zombies just creep up on them. Just sneak up on them. They're always just like, zombie. And you hear them like rustling the leaves in the background and shit. Or like getting up. Like they make noise.
Yeah.
But the theory is that they're deaf, and the reason that they're deaf is because all the guns that go off and stuff, they have no ear protection, and so they can't hear very well. So like zombies actually do can sneak up on them.
I see.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
That makes
fun.
sense. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess so. Their eardrums are slowly decaying over time,
Yeah.
or getting blasted apart by gunpowder or gunfire all the time. Yeah, I guess I'm down with that. I mean, it's
believable.
In every action movie, though, how often do you see someone properly geared up with protective glasses and also earplugs the
Right.
entire time? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think it's just lazy writing, and that the zombie's going to sneak up on this person again because we got to remember they're a threat in the end. At the end of the day, zombies are part of this universe. Let's not forget that. That's what I
And
think.
somebody's dead.
Yep, exactly. Someone got eaten by a zombie again. What
End
do
of
you
the
know?
season.
Right? Have there ever been times where like they have like zombie armies or like herds of zombies that they keep
They
like
have
as
hordes.
cattle?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Like people use them? I feel like that would be a fun idea.
I haven't seen the past. Like I said, I fell off like 2 seasons ago.
Sure.
I believe they're at the part where
Pretty
they're doing
commendable,
there's a group of people. The name of them is escaping me at the moment. But there's a group of people that actually like live with the zombies.
Oh, wow.
They like cover themselves. They like dress. They like use the skin of zombies, and they kind of like use them as like weapons almost. And they live among them. It's interesting.
Jesus Christ.
God, why can't I remember the name of them?
And I'm sure whoever's listening right now is screaming, "It's this!" But
Yeah,
that's all right, though. Thank you. If you do know, tweet at us again at STGeekPod. Be happy to know what the hell exactly they are called. But yeah, that does seem pretty cool, though. I like the idea of that. Living amongst walkers. It's pretty freaky. Any other theories you guys got?
Nope.
How much are we wrapping up?
No, I mean, if you got
don't
some,
know.
go for it, man. I'm out of ammo, technically.
Okay.
I brought 2 to the game.
Like I said, I got a lot of quick ones.
Go for it, yeah. Let's rifle
Jack
them
of the Titanic was a time traveler.
off. Jack in the Titan. Oh, okay, why is that?
Because he mentions later on in the movie that he's going to take Rose to like Coney Island or something like that. Because they're going to New York, right?
Yeah.
And you get to show her like the fucking Ferris wheel or whatever. But at the time of the Titanic sinking, that actually didn't exist yet.
Oh, whoa. Oh, that's right. Like ride the bumper cars or whatever
Yeah,
on
whatever
Coney
he says.
Island and
I
all
don't
that. Yeah.
remember the exact dialogue.
Something
but
like that. Yeah.
Um,
That's either
Or it's
really,
poor writing.
it's
Yeah,
just an oversight on the writing.
Yeah, it
100%.
might have been like, people never look into that. Someone looked into
somebody
it.
does.
Right?
Yeah.
There's historians that know. Especially with how popular that movie
and then
was.
also in the beginning of the movie, he kind of he's just out of place in where he is. He doesn't seem to have any money. I think he wins a game of cards to even get money to get going the Titanic.
Yeah,
or
he's a
whatever.
poker player. Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's a fun thing.
It's
I don't think
cool.
it's not real, obviously, but
Right.
it's fun.
Yeah, he obviously wasn't able to take his like futuristic gear with him because he drowned so easily. But I mean, that's still a really sad ending. I was just talking about that movie last night, actually. God dang, my heart will go on. Always a tearjerker. All right, what's next for you, Peter?
Okay.
What you got?
Let's see. What else do I got?
Keep them coming.
And Angelica imagined the Rugrats.
I've heard that one before.
Angelica, Imagine the Rugrats. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't think of how that is. Talk to me.
Okay, let me see if I remember it exactly how it goes. So, I think it's fuck. one of the all the children besides Angelica are imaginary. They're not real.
Oh, wow.
So, and I think, God damn it, how does it start? I think the Pickles family, their child's a stillborn. It's like, so she was pregnant, but she doesn't give birth to the baby. Mm-hmm. No, that was God damn, I'm all over the place with this.
He's all over the place.
Again, someone's yelling, "It's this." Well, that's all right.
Basically, the moral of the story is that they're all imaginary.
They're all, well, it makes sense as to why she's the only one that actually like speaks with them for the most part and can understand them.
No, not at all.
But I mean, there
lots of other characters.
Well, I guess like Grandpa picks them up, is like, "What's up, Sprouts?" or whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean,
the parents do. They're always interacting with the parents.
I guess my question is, why would she imagine people interacting with others beyond herself?
It had something to do with.
That is weird. I don't know.
She's crazy.
She is the only child of her family, of her immediate family. Yeah. Maybe she's just lonely, and she is kind of a brat.
It's like she's an only child, and
something like that. Yeah, that's right. It was because she was an only child, and she wanted somebody to play with. So Chucky and his mother died, and then his Tommy was a stillborn. And
my God!
The twins, that child was also a stillborn. And so the reason that they're twins is because they never figured out whether or not it was a boy or a girl. So she imagined them both. That's why they're twins.
Oh, okay. Like, I gotcha.
It's a whole thing.
Interesting. That's a darker take on the 90s cartoon. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible. I like Rugrats being Rugrats, though. But
I like that being Rugrats as well.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, there's that follow-up series, All Grown Up?
All Grown Up,
they're all like in high school and shit. Like, so it's not a thing. Yeah. Unless that's canon, should be in her imagination. She's homeschooled. She's just imagining the high school experience. Who knows? New theory for you.
That goes deeper.
That's a Peter original.
New layers. There you go. All right. Anyone else or any more that you had, Peter?
None that I mean, there's a lot.
You can bring up one if you want. We have time for one more. Why not? If you want it, okay, go ahead.
Okay, John's got one.
I briefly brought this one up last time, I'm pretty sure. But the Saved by the Bell theory, which really blew my mind. I think I sent you it years ago. So there's a show before Saved by the Bell, and I think it's like Good Morning, Mrs. Bliss. It's something along those lines. And it has a lot of the same characters from Saved by the Bell, but they're in middle school. And Zach, I don't know the actual actor's name.
Characters or actors?
Same actors. I'm sorry. Okay. Same actors. Zach, the actor, is in the main character in the middle school, and he's unpopular. Nothing ever goes his way. So the theory is he's dreaming Saved by the Bell because they're older. He's one of the cool kids, and everything goes.
He breaks the fourth wall. He does his like time stop thing that he does, and like talks with the audience. Like
I never watched Saved by the Bell.
So they're saying,
I know what you're
talking
about.
You're a bad '90s kid, DJ.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of cartoons, but not so much. Saved by the Bell didn't grab me.
Hold on, I gotta hit you with a couple. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
My cousins watched it. I watched it when I went to their house.
So, no, you tell me. Yes
not
or
independently.
No. Okay.
Not independently.
Family Matters.
Actually, no. I did a little bit when it was on Nickelodeon. Anyway, go on. Move on.
Family Matters.
Family Matters. Which one's that?
Oh,
is that with Urkel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Barely. More so at my cousin's house once again.
Full House.
No, I didn't care
Fresh
about that
Prince
much.
of Bel-Air.
Of course.
Clarissa Explains It All.
Break out, Lucille. Oh, Clarissa Explains It All was cool.
Yeah, that's a great show.
That was like that was pre
Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs, barely.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah, that show scared the shit out of me a couple times.
Goosebumps.
The Goosebumps. You know, I wasn't allowed to read. I wasn't allowed to read Goosebumps as a
Mighty
kid.
Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog, of course.
You're thinking of them faster than I can. I don't know.
Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, any Disney Channel show or movie.
Real Monsters.
Oh yes,
Real
love that one. Okay. That movie was pretty. Oh, that show was kind of dark as well. It was very Kablam time, same Kablam network or something like that. I love like their idea of the Justice League, whatever they were called. But they had like all those like I don't know. They had some
the scuba diving toilet dude. They had
what was his name? The Stinky Diver, stuff like that. Yeah,
I love the Alien and the Monkey Man.
Oh, what was that called?
I don't even remember. Fairly Odd Parents came from there.
Fairly Odd Parents from Nickelodeon. Yeah, of course. I did watch that, but it was more so the live action shows I didn't get into until way later. Like Boy Meets World, I didn't watch it during its original run.
I forgot.
I watched that one when they brought it to Disney Channel like years later.
Did you watch TGIF? I guess I should just ask that.
No, not really.
Oh my God, AJ, why are we friends?
It just wasn't for me, I guess. I don't know.
You're just not for me.
Oh, damn. And yet we've been friends for so long. God damn. But I always give you reasons not to be friends with me, though.
Yeah, you do.
That's one consistency within our friendship.
And
that's the basis for your friendship. Is you shouldn't be friends.
It's kind of poetic in a way. Anyway, all right. Any other fan theories? Well, that about do it for this episode.
That's all the ones I want to talk about.
All right. Who's in charge of ST for this one?
Fuck.
Is it me again?
I think it was me.
Oh, damn. Improv,
I love
boy.
you guys.
Thank you for listening to Strange Things Geek.
Yeah.
Check.
Check.
Check your booty.